Welcome to the Abundance Hack Show, Season 4, where we are focusing on mastery. The last 3 seasons, I gave you the information. Now, we're focusing on integrating it into our lives and embodying it. If you are ready to master your thoughts, emotions, and patterns to feel whole, fulfilled, and really grounded in who you are without dimming your shine so you can live the abundant life that you truly desire, then you are in the right place. Hey M&Ms, thank you for tuning in to the Abundance Hack Show. What are you manifesting in your life today? If you're joining me for the first time, although M&Ms are really yummy candies, it actually stands for Magical Manifestors. Today we are manifesting body positivity. And today's guest is Danielle Rushton. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And she is going to tell us her story about her bra company and all of the yummy things that she has going on. But before we dive into that, Danielle, what does abundance mean to you?
Abundance to me is something I'm trying to understand that I already have. And in this material world that we're in, I'm always trying to seek this abundance of financial abundance, security. But whenever I find myself seeking, I try and come back to gratitude, abundance, and just it really is just knowing that everything within us is infinite, and being able to channel that is so tough sometimes. And I think when I'm in that mindset, I love that you asked that question, because abundance is like the word that anchors me down when I'm feeling, a little stressed or anything, when I feel disconnected. So abundance is just truly knowing we're already infinite and we're already abundant in who we are. And to me, it's really an anchor point of everything I desire is already here.
Yeah. I love it so much.
I love this podcast.
That was one of the best answers.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be doing this with you, and you are just so incredible. So I can't wait for this combo.
Thank you. So tell us about you. Tell the M&Ms how you got started with your bra company.
Yeah, well, I was working at the Home Shopping Network, specifically in the fashion and intimates category there on the e-commerce side. So I was never planning to start a bra company. I had to wear bras when I was in 4th grade, peak tomboy phase, so I was not happy about that. And I kind of lived my whole life feeling limited by my breasts and my bras and what I could wear, what I felt uncomfortable in. And as a kid growing up, I didn't really use my voice much. I was either silenced or dismissed, and it doesn't really feel good to keep trying to talk when that's happening. So I would channel my self-expression through the clothing that I would wear. And when that's your sense of voice, and then you're also limited by what you can express because of your body, I didn't realize this like internalized resentment I had for my boobs and for my just how I was built. And so that was something I didn't even come to until after I started the bra company and years of therapy. But from living with that, it kind of was just always this undercurrent of my life of I know I can't fit into this, or a backless shirt, nope, I can't wear that because I'm not wearing sticky bras. And throughout my life, though, I always wanted to be a fashion designer. I call myself an intuitive designer because I just think of things that would make sense to me. That would make my life easier. And so I never followed the dream to be a fashion designer because I'm from Tampa. I'm not in New York. I didn't have connections to the fashion industry. I just thought it was a pipe dream that I couldn't be for me. But then at HSN, I was going on a kind of separate from what I was even doing, but I ordered a bathing suit top for a vacation, and it was an extra large, the largest size offered, and it barely fit. And I just remember asking, who is this being made for? Because I know many women with much larger breasts than me. And so in that moment, I decided I was going to buy a sewing machine and teach myself how to sew. And so YouTube certified. I started making bathing suit tops that I could kind of MacGyver to fit my body, and I'm very fluid. Like sometimes I like to work at my desk, sometimes I like to move my desk over there and work. So being able to do that with your clothes, to change them based on my mood, was fun. And bathing suits turned into blouses and dresses, and everything I was designing had some sort of built-in bra element. When I realized I didn't want to have to build a bra into every top that I was making. Bras are the universal undergarment that we wear. We should be able to wear under all these clothes, but maybe if they were designed differently, they would be better. So starting with a strapless bra, because I love like off the shoulder shirts, which meant I wore my strapless bra a lot, and a lot of frustration came with that. So I was like, I think, why do we hate strapless bras?
I was just thinking in my mind, I hate strapless
honestly
bras.
And why? Because why do you hate them?
They're just, usually they're made bad. Like it's hard to find one that fits good, and it's not trouble to like get it to stay up, and just
Yep, exactly. And it's always slips, and they give us this false sense of security more than sticky bras, because you can hoist it up and you're like, okay, I think I'll be good, and then you take a few steps and then it's down. but with strapless bras, I kind of reverse engineered in my head just why do we hate them? Because they fall down. Why do they fall down? Because without shoulder straps we lose support of our upper bust, so naturally in gravity it falls eventually. And if there was something that could anchor the upper bust that we could control, and we could adjust it so we knew it felt secure, I think that would work. And then just reinforcing it underneath with another band so it looks like a bra, but just functions a little bit better, maybe that would stay up. So I went home, I chopped up 2 of my bras. I have my Franken bra, I can send you a picture of, it's so funny. But I took the shoulder straps from an old t-shirt bra and the front of one of my strapless bras, chopped it up, sewed them together, and I put it on and started bouncing around and called my sister and said, I think I made a better strapless bra. And still was not planning to do anything with this. I just was thrilled that I had a bra that would stay up, and I would never show anyone because it was disgusting and discolored, but it worked. Yeah. And then the next day, as you know, the universe would have it, I believe when you're on your path, the universe gives you little kisses of confirmation. And so out of nowhere, I've lived 27 years of nobody saying anything about bras, just me internalizing the fact that I hate bras, and I hate, that my boobs really consume my life and what I feel like I can be comfortable in. And I've never had a conversation with anyone about a good bra, the bras they wear, someone being happy with their bras, or even someone being unhappy. I think, I would love to know your opinion, but as women, I feel like nobody was doing anything different with bras, so it was kind of just this thing we accepted and we didn't really talk about because there was no reason to. So the next day, somehow, every podcast I was listening to was talking about how strapless bras are terrible. Every woman was talking about, oh, I wish I had a strapless bra that stayed up. And it's so funny how it all flushes when you do something towards your purpose. And so in that moment, I was shocked, and I was like, this isn't a me thing, this is a collective we thing, and we're all just silent, wearing these bras that we hate. And so I posted in a Facebook group that had probably about 1,000 women in it, and I asked, do you all hate your bras too? Is it just me, or do you have issues with finding your size, strapless bras? 300 women commented on that post, and at that moment it was like, well, this is beyond me at this point. It's now a responsibility to bring it to everyone else who has this problem. And I believe ideas, when they come to you and when you receive them and when you find that it's needed, it's no longer just for you. It's your kind of duty to the world if you choose. But sometimes these ideas, I know for me growing up, whenever I had ideas like being a fashion designer, I didn't think I could do it. I thought that was just a dream, a desire that I would live wishing for. And it's like, when we get these ideas, it's for us. And if we step into them, something beautiful will come of it. So 4 years later, we launched our strapless bra in just one color with the matching underwear to see, does anyone like this design? Does anyone even like this sizing? Because of this adjustability, one Wherewithal bra is equivalent to 3 traditional sizes. And so women now for the first time can personalize their bra size to fit their body exactly as it is. If you measure a 33 and a half, your bra can adjust to fit that. It's no more rounding up to the nearest even number band size. And I don't know if you know this, but sometimes they add 4 to your underbust measurement to give you your band size. And I didn't even know that until 3 years into starting a bra company. So bras is something we wear all the time that are so confusing and so kind of foreign. Wherewithal, by definition, is the tools, resources, or support necessary to do. And I just want to give women the tools they need to wear the things they want to wear in the moments that they're creating the life they want to live. Because we don't wear our bras when we're at home. We wear our bras when we're on a podcast with an incredible woman who is, you know, building her life, and when I'm pitching my bra company to a room full of male investors who have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, that's when I need security and support, and like to not be distracted by something pinching or pulling. And it really is just about taking a garment that has always made me feel insecure. Going to get fitted for a bra was met with avoidance. I always felt insecure, uncertain, and ultimately pretty powerless, and just like, okay, tell me what I am and I'll buy it, and then I'll never come back here again because this is a horrible experience. And I want to take that feeling and turn it into giving women their power back and giving you the wherewithal to know that you know what's best for you and you know what feels best to you, and you have the ability to change it otherwise. So that's what we're doing. And we just launched our t-shirt bra style that you can style actually 100 different ways. So if you have a one shoulder dress, or if the shoulder's on the other side, or if you want to do a cross front, and it's really just about giving women foundational pieces to start their day with, and then to hopefully carry that knowing of them being capable from that point on. So
I love that story so much.
I'm sorry I'm talking so much.
No, I mean, literally just everything about it is amazing. Like, just having the idea and the universe just coming in like, yes, this is it.
Yes, I was like, okay.
And then sharing your story, because things like bras and feeling uncomfortable about your boobs, like, women don't talk about that. And that's why I started a podcast, to give a voice so women feel like it's not just me,
right?
You know? So yes. I love everything about it.
Thank you so much. And it's kind of corny when I say it, but we have the word breastimony trademarked because so many women, as I was telling them that I did something different, we replaced hook and eye closures with an adjustable back band so you can be in control of your bra size. No more asking someone else. And women just, I don't know if I like pop a bubble within us that like we have this sleeping giant of frustration towards bras, but there's no reason to wake it up because nothing different is happening. So being able to say, no, I have something different, it's like this sigh of relief, and then women instantly go, well, this is my issue. And we all have a relationship with our breasts, because the 3 markings of womanhood growing up, I remember, were shaving your legs, starting your period, and wearing a bra, and all of which I had no interest in. And then when it happens, I remember my girlfriends and my sister, she really wanted boobs, and I had them, and she was 2 years older, and I was a tomboy, and I was like, you can cut mine off and have mine, I don't want it. You know, like taping them down, like in Now and Then, that movie. So I remember so many people wanting what they didn't have, or what somebody else had, and feeling like, I don't even want these, you know. And it's interesting, as I've matured and grown and had started this company and have been able to connect with so many women, it's like the only reason I can fight through all the challenges of a startup. But being able to hear from so many women what their issue with their boobs or bras have been, and it's all kind of interrelated with how we feel about our bodies, and then what we hold in judgment for ourselves when we're unhappy with the way that we were built. And our bodies are our home. It makes me emotional thinking about, because for so long, I was like, I was just living in disassociation from myself, and it really took, the thing that started in my life. As I said, I was a tomboy, was not interested in the girly things, and my mom said, okay, time for you to wear a bra. And so that was the first moment I started replacing who I was with who society tells you have to be. And so living the rest of my life not really using my voice and just letting people tell me who I am and what I should do. The bra is the thing that started the thread of me losing myself. And then it's so beautiful that it's the thing that brought me back home. So it's just so, it's like so powerful and overwhelming, which is why I get kind of teary when I say it, but I'm just so profoundly grateful for stepping into my desire and doing it for me just to start, and then finding that what I needed, so many other people need. And I'm sure you can relate to this when you step into your passions and you bring this to other people and you get to see them experience what you've done because you love it, because that's what you needed. It's just the most rewarding feeling ever.
Yeah, and I love your advertisements too, because you have women of all different shapes and sizes, so they don't feel like, well, that bra isn't for me.
Right.
Like my mom has huge boobs and she can't wear like Victoria's Secret bras.
Right.
Like they don't come in her size, like the biggest one. So, and I mean, even like the biggest one is like a double D or something like that, but they're still made smaller.
Yes.
And so feeling like this is cute, or I want something that has like little rhinestones but they don't come in my size,
right,
that creates shame around their body.
Yes. And what we do with our design process, so when I do something, it's all in. So I'm doing it, and with every size that we develop, we fit it on a fit model. And a lot of brands, anyone, to save money, you fit something on a median size and then you just grade up. So when I'm wearing something that looks so cute on my tiny petite friend, and then I'm wearing it as an average build and it looks kind of weird, like it doesn't fit me, that's because it wasn't fit on my size. And so with our bras, we fit them on every size woman, and we make changes based on what that size needs, because someone who's a 40F needs some different support than a 32A, and
totally,
and it needs to be proportional to that body and that size. So we do the work to really make it intentional and thoughtful, and I don't want to make a size that wasn't fit and approved on somebody of that size. That's just a waste of time and money, and I don't really know why companies even waste their time doing that. And so because one of our bras is equivalent to 3 sizes, we can do more sizes. We can be more size inclusive with less inventory than anyone else. So that means we can offer women who are very petite with very natural large breasts a bra size for the first time ever. One of my friends, actually, she has never seen her torso because she's never been in a band that was small enough paired with a cup that was big enough for her body. And I think a lot of bra companies just overgeneralize, like, if you're a curved woman, you have huge boobs, and if you're a skinny woman, you have small boobs, and that's what we're gonna give you. And that's not it at all. And when you go through life, even for me as a kind of average, and nothing's way off, I have a very small torso and butt and boobs and all of it, so it's like, let's see if this fits. And like living feeling like nothing's being made for my abnormal body. It's like these sizes were never made for us, and they were never made to be a framework that we could personalize the way we feel best, because preference is so, validation of what someone feels is really what I'm trying to give to women in starting with their bras. And I think just the mass manufacturing, overgeneralization, all of it has just made us feel like we're the issue, or our body is the issue, when we're basing that off something that was made for us, that nobody even asked us how we wanted it to fit. And we've just been consuming these things that we were never considered when they were being made. And so I want to take back the power from these bra companies and even clothing companies that gives women a garment that they can embrace themselves exactly as they are, and can love themselves as they expand and as they refine and as they evolve, and it changes with you. So you don't have to feel shame if it's not fitting you, and I have to go bra shopping again, and then that experience of bra shopping is so horrible that I don't even want to do it, and so I'm just going to stay in my house and never put a bra on or clothes or go anywhere. And that's something that happened to me because I've fluctuated a lot in my life, and in college I gained a lot of weight, and so that was my feeling of, well, I'm not going to accept this, and I'm just gonna wait until I lose the weight to then feel worthy of buying clothes that fit my body. And it's this spiral of just not feeling good because of the things that we are offered, when again they were never for us, really, truly.
Yeah. I want to share some statistics from mentalhealth.org. So 1 in 5 adults feel shame around their body. Just over 1/3 felt down or low about it, and 19% felt disgusted by their body image just in the last year. Like, it's, and what you said about how media makes you feel like you have an abnormal body. I don't think there's anything abnormal about your body. Like, you're, normal, but the fact that media makes us feel that way, there is so much that needs to be corrected about the process. Yes. So I'm really glad that you did that. But if someone is listening to this episode and they're like, I felt that. Mm-hmm. I feel shame around my boobs, and obviously like boob jobs are like a huge thing right now. So there are a lot of people that feel shame, whether they feel their boobs are too big, too small. Actually, I know someone that just mentioned like a breast reduction. So I'm sure she felt a lot of the same things that you may have felt. So what would you say to a woman that's listening that's like this is hitting home?
Man, I honestly, and I would challenge, I lived in such a disassociated state from my body. I would first start with anyone who maybe feels like this doesn't really resonate, and just check in with your body and make sure that you are feeling whole and good about living in that life. Because I think for me the scariest thing, beyond recognizing what you feel ashamed about, which I'll address in a second, the scariest thing in life is to live it disassociated from your wholeness and like feeling who you are. And I think it's beautiful if you do feel, if this resonates with you towards a part of your body, because that's the first step, is what are you feeling insecure or shame about, and then unpacking why. And why I felt insecure about my boobs is because I couldn't wear certain things, and when it was either my cleavage was showing or I felt very uncomfortable, and it's because of how everybody else was making me feel about my body. If we all lived our lives just in bliss as we were born, and there was no media, there was no TV, there was nothing to tell us what was right, we would all be so happy. Yeah. It would be such a better world. And I think it's the beauty about Wherewithal and with the bra is like because I created something that is more inclusive in the sizing, it lets you embrace your individual. And so knowing that whatever you're, I'm not gonna say this as fact, but a lot of the times what we feel shame or insecurity about is something that we don't see on other people, and it feels like we're the only one who looks like this or has this. And really what makes us different is what makes us who we are. And I truly, to my core, when I feel most powerful, it's when I remind myself that no one is you and that is your power. And like just being you in your wholeness and your fullness, and realizing your body is your home. Everything else is just a placement, and the home for your soul and the vessel that takes you through this life. And honestly, for me, once I started like adorning my body with oils after the shower and just telling my toes I love it, my ankles, my like my stomach that I've always had this little pooch, I'm like, I love you. And just saying that, I started to feel even lighter, like just in my essence. And so the things that you maybe ignore or try to hide on your body, I would encourage you to look at and really ask what it needs or why it feels, why you feel any way about it. Because a lot of the times the negative feelings within us were never ours. It was somebody else who told us something or made us feel a certain way about ourselves, so then we started feeling judgment for ourselves. And if you extract where it came from, oftentimes you'll find that that was never even your thought. And by kind of trying to expel that daily and just being patient and giving yourself grace and nurturing the reasons and the validation of why you might have felt a certain way, but then coming back to your own relationship with your body and with yourself. Because when we remove all the negativity, there's nothing but love for ourselves within ourselves. And so I hope that anyone that this resonates with, you just, one, know that you are amazing and a being of light and infiniteness, and to really just embrace who you are in your wholeness and live your life for you, because it's so important that we step into our power and create the life that we were here to live, because people need what you have to say. People need what you have to offer, and the world will be better off because of it. And if we were all living in our purpose and all living like doing the things that we wanted to do, what a beautiful world. Everyone would be so happy. And it would just be so much, there would be so much joy and I think fulfillment. And I think it starts with really loving ourselves and seeing ourselves, and then having our own back. That's something I'm working on. It's just like, I always fall on the sword for people, and like when things happen, I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, it's probably my fault. And it's like, no, actually it wasn't. and just being able to stand up for myself is really what I'm starting to work on, and not in any way to be rude or anything to anyone else ever is my hope. I just really need to have my own back and stand up for me, and it started with standing up for my body and just loving it for leading me through this life.
So one of the things I want to point out that you said that I think is so beautiful is you get out the shower and like, you know, send love to your body.
Yes.
And I also want to add, if this is resonating with you, doing some type of inner child healing where you send love to yourself during that age. So
yes.
when you had to wear your bra, like, you know, the age that you were when you established like, okay, these boobs are bad, you know, or my body's bad, or my body isn't what I want it to be. Send love to yourself at that age. Inner
yes.
child healing is so powerful.
Yes.
So creating some type of self-love routine, and it's a practice because our bodies are constantly changing.
Yeah.
And so developing some type of practice or routine so where you can always check in with your body, because one of the biggest areas of shame is when women start to age. Their boobs get a little more saggy, or their bodies, you know, there's so much shame around our bodies.
Yes.
So having a practice like, you know, oiling yourself, you know, up with some, you know, yummy oil and sending your different body parts love. I mean, I think that would be a really great practice for every woman, even if it's not resonating, because sometimes we disassociate and we stuff it down so much we don't even notice.
Yes.
And I think what happens, so I feel like I have a little bit of a maybe opposite like experience. I feel like I always wanted boobs, and so I was like, yes, give me boobs. Like my first bra, I asked my mom to get me a water bra to make my boobs look bigger.
Oh my gosh, wait, I haven't heard the term water bra in
water
so
bra
long.
So yeah, I mean, this is when I was like a teenager.
I remember them.
Like so and then when I finally grew boobs, like the actual size that I was like, ooh, my boobs are sexy. Women shamed me for wearing low cut shirts. One of my closest friends said, you're not gonna find a husband if you wear low cut shirts. Like no man is gonna like wanna wife you because your boobs are always showing. And actually that was one of my closest friends. Like I went to high school with her, and then I had another woman be like, why are you always wearing low cut shirts? And I'm like, I like my boobs. And like I was shamed for that from other women. And I remember one of my best friends at the time was like, oh, when did you get a boob job? I'm like, I didn't get a boob job, but like it made me uncomfortable. And so I actually changed how I dressed because I was like, me wearing low cut shirts is triggering women. So I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to trigger women. But I thought about it like, we shouldn't be triggered by that. There's so much negative programming around it, and when we heal ourselves, I feel like we heal people around us, so we're not just, there's so much shame.
And from women, from men, I mean, even as you said that about your friends, a lot of my friends wanted boobs, and I started my period before my one friend in particular growing up who really wanted her period, wanted boobs, wanted to shave her legs, and started shaving her legs.
I don't know any woman that wanted her period.
Honestly, no, but truly, and I was like, this makes me feel weird because I'm not trying to do anything because I have it's one of those things. I absorb people, and I've been working on that, but when somebody like wants something that I have, then, and if I can't give it to them, then I start to feel very weird and like, oh gosh, this I put everything into that person, and that has been very healing to not do that. But as I'm telling the story, I'm realizing that. But I remember I felt shame because it happened to me sooner, and that's nothing that I can control. And it's very interesting when it's something you have absolutely no control over, and then somebody else is putting their desires onto you. That then I felt shame for having it before somebody else, and that's such an interesting thing that I'm saying right now. But men, women, I mean, I was fat shamed by, you know, people in my family when I was gaining weight, and it just, there's so much judgment of everyone else. And as I heal, and as soon as you said that story about the women, it makes me think, who in their life told them that they didn't have good enough boobs, or that they should do
and these
something.
came from friends too, which is like even more hurtful. Like if it was like a random woman that I didn't know, like you know, it's one thing, but these are friends, so it's like our shame, like it's our responsibility to work on our shame, so we're not shaming other women. And I feel like, you know, the men and the like media is a bigger task to try to like, you know, reprogramming, but it starts with us. If we can work on our own shame and celebrating the women in our lives, especially our close friends, celebrate them. So we like, that's where it's going to start. And then we can start tackling like men's perception of boobs and media's perception of boobs and bodies and stuff. But I really think like doing our own work so we're not shaming other women and we're celebrating other women. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because I feel like your brand celebrates women of all sizes. Yes. And that's where it starts.
Yes, and that's truly what I want. I've always been a girl's girl, like through and through. And so just women, we endure so much. We take on so much. We're the greatest compliment that we can be given is that we're selfless. And it's like, I don't want to ever be called selfless, actually. And I want to be in my wholeness, and so I can give to others from a place of love, not a place of lack. And with Wherewithal, my whole goal is to truly take one thing that whether you play mental gymnastics into how to get out of wearing a bra with your outfit in the morning, or if you disassociate, you put it on, you hate it, and you continue your day. You started your day in disassociation. And I used to do that, and it was either starting my day unconsciously or truly making myself exhausted trying to figure out how I can get out of wearing a bra because I hated it so much. And so giving women something that then takes that and turns it into a moment of power and a moment of I can adjust this feels good, this is a moment of self-connection with myself, like how do I feel right now? Do I need to adjust anything? And being able to start your day with yourself. And then from there, I just want women to have one less distraction and one less thing to worry about, and being able to make their life, when it comes to bras, a little bit easier so they can be who they are, is exactly what I want to do. And I think when we all lift each other up, the bra is the least interesting thing about anyone who's wearing it, including me as the founder of a bra company. It's I want to tell the stories of women and who they are and what they do. And it's like, this is the bra I choose to do it in because I trust it. But I just want to be like a Humans of New York meets a bra company, so I can lift up the stories of women so then we can all get stronger together and support one another. And I think one of the most beautiful things in starting this bra company is that it's given me so many more friends, because I have become, my biggest insecurity became my biggest superpower. And then that connected me with so many more women who have felt the same. And then now I'm feeling like women kind of embrace that it was never them, and it's never their fault with their boobs or their bras and not knowing and dressing certain or whatever, and just owning like nobody's given us proper support, and I'm done shaming myself for whatever I experienced with my boobs, and now I'm just embracing them and my body, and then being able to embrace your feelings and who you are and what you want, and then stepping into that is just, I really hope what Wherewithal can help leave the world. And it starts with a bra, but truly my goal is for this to be a tool of self-connection that allows women to listen to their inner voice, and when something is no longer comfortable, know that they are the only ones who can change it, and also instill that they are equipped to be able to handle whatever they need to change. So if your bra is not comfortable, you can adjust it, you can change it. But if you're not comfortable in your job, if you're not comfortable in your relationship, if you need to move out of state somewhere else, you can do that. You just have to do it. And so it's a lot to put on ourselves, but to live our fullest life, it's like, it kind of goes back to having our own back and honoring what we feel is true and best to us. So I believe it starts with us, all of us.
I love it so much. I definitely invite everyone listening, specifically women, because I know we have men that listen as well, but I invite you to take a moment and journal. Journal your experience with your first bra, how it felt, and then with the the women I reference that shames me around my boobs, usually when we shame others is because we receive shame.
Yes.
And how your mother talked about the process of you growing boobs and that first experience of having a bra, because usually it always stems back to childhood or teenage years. So I invite you to journal on that. I think it would be a really powerful process, and then it'll offer clarity around where you may need healing, because there shouldn't be any shame around having shame. We have to have full self-acceptance, and that's a process, and it's a long process.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm gonna go get my nails done and I have self-love. Like, it's so much deeper than that. So definitely doing the work. And I'm a huge advocate for therapy, because you know, people are disassociated and they don't even know they have trauma or experiences that are playing out in their adult life. And we could be holding ourselves back from something and not even know it. And it stems from something like your experience getting your first bra. You know? So there's so much work. There's so much work, but be gentle with yourself and know that it's a process. It's not a quick fix. And as we become whole, I have a podcast episode on fragmentation about that disassociation process and how we can start to integrate all of our parts that have been broken off, and that's when we feel whole. So I love everything that you mentioned.
I love being able to talk with you about this and to really dive in. And yes, it's such a process. And just start with noticing. That's the first step. Notice the things where you feel tense, or when you feel shame, or when you want to hide something,
or when you feel numb. Feeling numb is a feeling.
This was so nourishing.
I literally could talk to you forever.
I know.
Okay, so my final question is, what are your top 3 tips for living an abundant life?
I mean, I'm practicing this every day, but it's knowing that you already are. That is the hardest one by far. Let's see. Also, just one thing I've been practicing is whenever I get cut off, or when I get angry, or when I'm waiting in a line at Starbucks forever, I use the time where I start to get frustrated. I'm trying to stack that with, okay, any feelings of frustration, let's say all the things we're grateful for in this moment, and just trying to really replace any feeling of lack with gratitude. And I believe abundance, I guess the third one is that abundance comes from gratitude in my perspective. And so just looking around and knowing that you already have everything you desire, and being abundant is truly a feeling, or living an abundant life is feeling like you have that abundance in everything that you do, because you do, and we can channel that if we identify that it's already there. So it's what I try to do. It's easier to say it right now than to live it all the time, but I loved this podcast, and I love that you challenged me to even think about it, and it really just, this was so nourishing to talk with you, and thank you so much for having me on. This was amazing.
Thank you for being here. So I'm going to have all of her social media links and everything in the show notes. Definitely go check her out, and check out the website, check out her bra line, and just keep sharing your voice. You have such a powerful story. I am so glad that you came on the show.
That means so much. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, M&Ms, until next time, be decadent.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Abundance Hack Show. I would love to hear from you. Leave your comments and questions, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our yummy episodes. Every time you leave a 5-star rating or review, I do my happy dance.